So as I always talk about, and you always hear it coming up at some point, I'm always talking about past life. Because we have had so many lives, so many lives. And, we had to have those lives because, again, we had to learn the different roles. We had to we used to play different roles. We had to experience different things, but the world is evolving, from a place that it used to be to where it is right now. We have evolved on so many levels. Where in another life, we weren't allowed to speak. We weren't allowed to show our true selves. We weren't allowed, as women, weren't allowed to even have a voice. We had to keep quiet. Our role was to just have babies and clean and take care of our men. Right? And to some extent, a lot of us still do that, right? And not that there's anything wrong with it, but we have a voice and you should be able to use it, right? We're not slaves anymore, We put ourselves in these places, again, because of programming and conditioning and not really embodying the true essence of who we are, which is of strength, of divinity, of unconditional love. We don't look at that. We just continue repeating patterns from whatever experiences we've gone through or whatever unhealed trauma we've carried down from generations and ancestors. So this is a time now, my loves, to change everything, to change these things that no longer serve you. Right? But past lives really do play a big part in a lot of the experiences that we are going through and repeating and lessons that we need to learn and the hardships and victim mentality and all of these different roles that we may still be playing here in this life. Past lives really did have a lot to do with that because, again, we were in a world, in a timeline where we weren't allowed to really be who we truly were meant to be. And yes, in this lifetime, that's a lot of things that some of us are still dealing with. Again, that comes from a past life, right? We weren't able to use our voice, so we have a hard time communicating, being vulnerable. Why? Because in past lives, if we showed that, we would be judged. We would be shunned. We would be killed. We would be thrown out to the wolves. I mean, they were really cruel back then. We have a lot of cruelness now, but in those times, they didn't care. They, anything that created fear in people was pushed away, shunned. You really weren't looked at as a human being, just a curse or a terrible person or a witch or whatever role, we played in that lifetime. So what I wanted to do was I have this deck. I've been wanting to work with this deck. It's a past life. It's past lives oracle cards. So I'm going to tune into the deck to see what card is going to pop out. What past life did we live in, and what role did we play in that past life that is affecting us here may it still be affecting us here in this lifetime. So let us see So let's see which past life wants to show itself, and let's see how it may be affecting us to some extent here now in this lifetime. Okay, that's the one that wanted to come through. Mother. The mother role. So, let's see what this represents for us in this lifetime. The mother role. nurturer, caregiver, always playing the role as a mother. You know what I find? I'm looking at this, and I'm gonna read the description of what the deck what it was represented. But I'm gonna look at this, and I'm gonna just check in with it and see what information comes up for me. So whenever I would think about a mother, right? Our mother is the nurturer. The mother is the caregiver, the one who's there for us all the time. And I was just thinking about this the other day as well. I was thinking about my own mom who passed away when I was 6 years old. And I remember saying out loud how the only time that I ever felt safe was when my mother was alive, because she just embodied that true essence of nurturing and loving and security and safety. And when you think of your mom, you think of, they're there for you for everything through thick and thin. They help you to become a better person. They accept you for who you are, every part of you. Okay. So it's like when you're in that kind of energy, you can do anything, right? Because you feel so good. Because our moms are, they make us feel good about who we are, right? But on the other side of this, we can also have a mother who is very, very toxic, right? Who never in maybe her existence, in her lifetime, in her experiences, never was even taught what a mother represents, who was misused and talked down to and felt like crap, and made you feel like crap, made you feel terrible about who you are. So like I said, you could look at this in two different ways, because the mother role is a very major role that we play, and either we're the good mom or we're the bad mom, right? But a lot of times it comes from, again, patterns and behaviors. So if you've never really experienced the nurturing of what a mom truly represents, you go through life projecting that onto your own children, right? And you never really can get or fully embody the role of what a mom represents, right? Our mom is supposed to be there and love us. So this is what makes it so complicated and difficult for many people, right? Because on one hand, we know what a mom represents, right? This is what we're always told in society. Mom is there to take care of us, nurture us, love us, embrace us. And that was all my mom. My mom embodied all of that. So I know I got a lot of that from my mom. And I show that to my own children, and more, right? Because also my roles changed, and I had a stepmother who was the total opposite. She was totally toxic and played the role of a very deceptive, toxic, not a very good person. So kind of like the Cinderella story, right? Stepmom, right? Kind of like that. So I experienced both parts of it. It's just with my mom, my real mom, who embodied all of what a mom represents. She was taken from my life very quickly. I was only 6, so I didn't get to really experience all of it. Again, she started the process of what a mom represents. So I had that in me already. And then I had to go through the other half, being with a stepmom who wasn't a very good person, and go through life feeling less than and not good enough, because of all the things that were programmed into me, right? Conditioned into me, things that were said to me to make me feel certain ways, and not good enough. And it's interesting that mother came up through the past life oracle cards. So I really feel like mother's energy is big, because I was just thinking about my mom the other day, and all the things that came to my mind about that time in my life, things that I suppressed, things that I forgotten, how amazing she was, how strong she was. And again, a lot of her traits I did receive. But again, I had to go through the process of being with a stepmom step monster, and they had to tear me apart and tear me down, so that I can get to the place that I am right now of understanding that. And as I was saying earlier, not every mom is a good person, right? And they're toxic, and they make us feel terrible about ourselves. There's so many people that never even got to experience what a true mom really represents, right? So they had to go through a lot of lessons and heartache and pain of not feeling good enough, and working so hard to try to get accepted, right? Because if you feel like you can't even get accepted by your own mom, that makes you feel terrible as a person, right? And that's something then that you will continuously go through life looking for, that mom figure. Like I remember connecting to older women that help guide me through life to a certain extent. And I always look to other women, stronger, nurturing type women to help me, to get through those parts of me that I didn't feel so good about, right? That's where the shadow parts come. But I don't want to go on and on about it, but it's really to look at where a lot of these traits come from. And again, we may have been shut down, or just had to play the role of mother. And this is something else that's coming up too. So I'm sorry if I'm jumping all over, but it's just now everything is coming. But the one thing that I learned in this lifetime, that, in society, we're told what a mother is supposed to be, what a mother represents. But we're never told the type of mother that they end up being, right? And never told that a lot of times the things that they are supposed to represent, they don't even know what that is, right? So how can they show it to their children, right? But I also learned in this experience through the programming and conditioning of understanding what a true mom represents, but also what a mom who has a lot of unhealed trauma represents, and what they bring to you and what they carry down to you. What we forget as a mother, and I work with a lot of moms who feel this way as well, is that we are a woman first, right? So a lot of times we're looked upon as a superhero. We got it together. We can do everything. We do everything. Our children look up at us as we're like this superhuman person, right? We're like Wonder Woman. My idol, by the way. And we get lost in that place of what a mother should represent. And then we forget, throat chakras there, that we are women first. So we get lost in that role, okay? And in that role, we're taking in all of the unhealed trauma, all of the experiences we went through, the things that we didn't heal with us. And because society says a mother is supposed to be this way, we start jumping into this role, and we become almost like a robot, or like I can't even explain. It's kind of like we just stay in this role and we forget about ourselves. We forget about ourselves in the process of being mom, right? We forget ourselves as a woman. We forget about all of the things that we went through in our lives before we even became moms that maybe we didn't heal. And then we carry it into our momhood and sometimes project it onto our children, right? But it's not until we get to this place of understanding that, yes, a mother represents a very important role, and we should love our moms. But we have to also understand that not all moms are great and amazing, and we have to be okay with that too, right? So, so let's read what mother is representing in this past life oracle deck. All right. So I hope I didn't confuse the hell out of you. I probably did. But let's see. So mother. This card indicates that your mother in this life was also with you in other lifetimes. And that is a big possibility that we repeated lifetimes with a mom that we had in another lifetime who became our mom this lifetime. And it could be maybe in that lifetime we really didn't connect on a good level. And on this lifetime, we're trying to make amends and make peace with that. Or we could have been the best mother in that lifetime, and then in this lifetime we're the mother who's toxic, and we pass that on to our children, right? So we play different roles for a reason. So good and bad, dark and light, right? We have to do that to really get a full understanding of what that role even represents for us. What is it teaching us? How is it helping us to evolve? This is actually a very common occurrence. The mother-child relationship is a significant emotional and physical bond. If you enjoy a healthy and loving relationship with your mother in this lifetime, you were probably drawn together again because of your fondness for one another. However, if your relationship has been challenging, because a lot of mother-children relationships are very challenging, this indicates a need to balance the karma through your forgiveness. Your feelings about your mother are directly related to your ability to manifest abundance, as mother energy is also about receiving. If you have blocks with your mother, you have most likely developed control issues that prevent you from receiving help from others or from the universe. So this card asks you to do more personal work concerning your mother. At this time, you may wish to add past life regression as an adjunct to other therapeutic methods. So again, it represents so many different things for us when we think of mother, right? On so many different levels. Yes, in a past life, it could have been we had fondness, so we were amazing moms in this lifetime, but maybe we have to go through some trials and tribulations to embody that nurturing part of ourselves, and we have to go through some ripples and some ups and downs to really embody the true essence of mom, right? Mother. But also understand that we are women first, right? So we have to be able to acknowledge that too, by giving us ourselves love and affection as well, right? I love the hell out of my children. They're the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm sure, and I've had lifetimes with them as well. So there were some trials and tribulations I had to go through. And but as I evolved and became more connected to that part of me, I understood where in a past life that I had with them affected this lifetime, right? But at the end of the day, again, we're women first. So we do have to take the time to honor ourselves as well. And it makes us a better mother. When we can love ourselves truly, it makes us even a better mom. And sometimes even when we've gone through rough things in our lives, it makes us a better mom, because we never want to be like the mom that we had, the toxic mom, right? The unhealed mom, right? And again, it's not judgment, because again, it's whatever experiences they went through, unhealed trauma that they never healed within themselves, right? So they carry it down to their children, and then their children repeat it, or their children go through life searching for that mom that is going to make them feel nurtured and loved and accepted, And sometimes we go through a lifetime not even knowing what that feels like, right? So we go through life still trying to figure it out until we get to this place of understanding. And now we just have to tap into that energy within ourselves, which is the mother energy within ourselves, by nurturing and loving ourselves, right? We can only give that to ourselves anyway. Yes, it's great to have that amazing mom who's there for you, that helps you understand what being a mom is all about, right? That's going to always be there no matter what, are going to accept you no matter what, right? They're not going to make you feel less than or not good enough. They're going to make you feel like you can do anything because you're an amazing being. They're going to show you and remind you of how amazing you are. And that is going to help you move forward as well and evolve. But again, not all of us had that opportunity to experience that, right? So just know that moms are important in our lives, but they're there to nurture and love you. But they're women first, and they have their own unhealed stuff. So they can't always give you what it is that you need or you think you need. They could guide you, protect you, and show you. But at the end of the day, you still have to go through the journey of accepting and loving yourself. But I loved my mom. My mom was an amazing woman. She was a strong woman. And I know I get a lot of her strength. I get a lot of the strength from her. It's sad that it was taken away so quickly, and I really didn't get to meet her at this version or, as a mom myself. But I know she's always with me. She's always guiding me. I love you, Mom. I know you're always with me. You've been guiding me through life. So appreciate your mom. And for the ones who never really got to experience a good relationship with your mom, don't repeat that cycle. Understand it's just because your mom had unhealed trauma and was projecting onto you things that she never healed within herself or carried on from her experiences as a child. And maybe their mom represented that for them. So they never really knew how to love and to embrace and nurture and help you on that level. But no, don't let that define you, okay? It's just in this experience and in this lifetime, maybe the lesson was for you to have that type of experience so you can become stronger within yourself and heal, even if you had to go through a bunch of different things in your life to get to the place of saying, I love me as a woman. And when you can love yourself, you can be an amazing, amazing, amazing mom for someone else, right? So, check in with that part of you, embrace the mom within yourself. Even if you never become a mom, just what a mother represents. Tap into that love and that nurturing and all of that affection and love within yourself. Give it to yourself. Give it to yourself. And then there you are in energy experiencing that connection, the connection with yourself. All right, my loves?